Good evening to you. My name is Chinemerem Joseph, and I welcome you to today's edition of You and the Economy. The Anchor Borrowers Program, ABP, is unarguably the flagship initiative of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led federal government in promoting self-sufficiency in food production in Nigeria. As verifiable records and empirical evidence clearly indicate, the program, under which the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, presently provides funding for 21 different crops, has triggered a massive revolution in Nigeria's agricultural sector. This is especially so as the outputs of many agricultural commodities, which have been in decline for several years, have received massive boost after the Anchor Borrowers Program was launched in November 2015 by the President. Today, the rice value chain stands out as the flagship project of the ABP, having transformed the face of rice production in the country for the better. The impressive remodeling of the rice value chain is being driven by a robust partnership between the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, RIFAN. So significant are the gains made in the rice value chain under the ABP that Nigeria is now on the cusp of attaining self-sufficiency in the production of the commodity, which is staple food for millions in the country. It is heartwarming that the remarkable developments recorded in Nigeria's rice value chain under the ABP cut across the two critical components of the chain, namely the production of rice paddies and the milling of the paddies to obtain edible rice grains. That the ongoing transformation of the rice value chain of the ABP remains on the right course was further reaffirmed recently when yet another new rice processing mill was commissioned in the country, this time in Gunduwawa, a village bordering the historic city of Kano, the commercial nerve center of the northern Nigeria. The multi-billion Naira ultra-modern rice processing mill was commissioned by the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. You and the Economy was in Gunduwawa to witness the momentous event, and our report on its highlights is the focus of today's edition of the program. Happy viewing.
To many Nigerians, especially those who have been following developments in the nation's rice value chain lately, these images have become regular sights. They are displays of bags of rice paddy harvest from the rice plantations being developed by rice farmers under the Anchor Borrowers Program ABP, an initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN that is being implemented across the length and breadth of the country. Rice paddies, by the way, are collections of harvested, unprocessed and unrefined rice, not yet in edible state. The display of rice paddy pyramids was flagged off in Minna, capital of Niger State, in December 2020 to celebrate the giant strides made in the rice value chain under the ABP. This was after the 5th anniversary of the program following its formal launch by President Muhammadu Buhari in November 2015, barely 6 months into the inauguration of the first term of office of the Buhari administration. The inaugural display of rice paddy pyramids on such a massive scale was also sequel to the fact that the rice value chain had emerged as the signature project of the ABP. Subsequently, a series of road shows was embarked upon to exhibit the remarkable achievements of the ABP in the value chain. Between December 2020, when the display in Minna took place, and up until as recent as January 2022, millions of bags of rice paddies arranged in different imposing pyramid-shaped formations have been put on display in selected cities in some of the geopolitical zones of the country. The objectives of the continued display of the rice paddy pyramids are varied, and they include the need to vividly drive home the message that the interventions undertaken by the CBN under its ABP, particularly the rice value chain of the program, has been a remarkable success story. Encourage the targeted participants of the program, especially those who are still undecided and were sitting on the fence vacillating, to key into it, and to also make skeptics realize that the loan repayment terms of the program were truly being fulfilled. The displays were also meant to reassure Nigerians, particularly the consumers of rice, that the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, both partners in the implementation of the rice value chain of the ABP, remain resolutely committed to the goal of bringing down the price of rice in the market and making the staple food to be available to Nigerians at affordable prices. Interestingly, as the displays of rice paddy pyramids continued at periodic intervals across the country, many Nigerians have wondered what had eventually become of the bags of rice paddy displayed at the different venues of the road shows after the public display had ended. This curiosity usually arose out of the mistaken notion that, due to the challenges that the Nigerian economy had been contending with for long, it was unlikely that the country could have enough rice mills to process the several millions of bags of rice paddies being churned out consistently due to the success story of the interventions undertaken in the rice value chain under the ABP. Yet, nothing could be farther from the truth. For unbeknownst to most of the people who nursed those fears, the rice milling arm of the rice production value chain is also experiencing an unprecedented boom. In tandem with the successes being recorded in the production of rice paddies themselves, a legion of integrated rice processing mills have been springing up in the country. The promoters of those new integrated rice processing mills have been taking advantage of the unprecedented levels of the availability of rice paddies, a key raw material required to keep their factories running and profitable, made possible by the exceptional success of the interventions in the rice value chain of the ABP. Indeed, whereas the total number of operational integrated rice mills in Nigeria before the introduction of the ABP in 2015 was less than 10, with a combined total capacity of less than 350,000 metric tons, the number had increased phenomenally to more than 60 integrated rice processing mills, with a combined capacity of about 3 million metric tons as at January 2022. This growing number of integrated rice processing mills has been complemented by hundreds of small-scale mills located across the length and breadth of the country. The latest of the new integrated rice processing mills in the country, the Gerawa Rice Processing Mill, sited in Gunduwawa, a village near Kano, capital of Kano State, was commissioned recently. Considering the significance of the addition of a brand new integrated rice processing mill to the continued success of the rice value chain of the ABP, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, graciously accepted the invitation to commission the Gerawa Rice Processing Mill. And this is understandable, particularly given the fact that the ongoing transformation of Nigeria's rice value chain is being driven by the CBN in partnership with the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, RIFAN, under the Apex Bank's ABP. The 15 billion naira ultra-modern Gerawa integrated rice mill has a capacity for the processing of 420 metric tons of rice paddy per day. When completed, the second phase of the mill, which is currently under development, will process 560 tons of rice paddy per day. In an address that preceded his symbolic cutting of tape to formally commission the Gerawa Integrated Rice Processing Mill, Governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, recalled how President Muhammadu Buhari had set off the agricultural revolution presently ongoing in the country when he performed the symbolic planting of rice seeds to flag off the ABP in Kebbi State in November 2015 to reinforce his commitment to the realization of his administration's resolve that Nigeria must begin to diversify her economy away from reliance on crude oil production and the earnings from the resource. Emefiele commended Kano State Governor Dr. Ganduje for initiating programs and policies which created an enabling environment for businesses to thrive and grow the economy of the state. The CBN governor also congratulated the proprietor of Gerawa Integrated Rice Processing Mill, Issa Mohammed Gerawa, and assured him of the readiness of the Apex Bank to collaborate with his company by providing loan assistance for its expansion and smooth access to foreign exchange for the importation of machinery and equipment needed by the mill. While noting the rapid increase in the number of rice mills in the country after the president flagged off the ABP in November 2015, Emefiele said the welcome development, as well as the springing up of new small-scale mills in practically every state of the Federation, attested to the conducive environment the CBN had been able to create in the rice value chain through its interventions and stakeholders' collaboration.
We have made giant strides from where we used to be in terms of rice cultivation and milling in Nigeria. As we increase the milling capacity of our rice nationwide, it is pertinent that we are able to match this with increased paddy production. To this end, we are encouraging all rice mills to embrace our backward integration program and get involved in paddy production to guarantee sustainable supply of paddy to your mills, and also complement the supply from smallholder farmers through our partnership with the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria. The private sector-led Accelerated Agricultural Development Scheme provides long-term financing option to millers to finance commercial farms, land development, irrigation facilities, and other agricultural infrastructure that will enhance their production plans. In addition, the EcoBlock program will continue to support funding requests for primary production as we continue to facilitate increased productivity per hectare in our land.
The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele noted that the quality of rice grown and processed in Nigeria compares favorably with most of the brands of rice imported into the country. He added that he was delighted that the Apex Bank's collaboration with the fiscal authorities has reduced the proliferation of substandard imported rice varieties in Nigerian markets and urged Nigerians to patronize brands of rice milled in the country.
As of today, the quality of our milled rice can match most foreign brands, and as Nigerians, we need to become more patriotic and embrace Mr. President's mantra of producing what you eat and eat what you produce. I want to congratulate the chairman of Gerawa Mills on this occasion, and I assure you, Alhaji, of our collaboration with Central Bank of Nigeria. You want loan, you will get. You want foreign exchange to import your equipment, you will get. Just keep doing the good job and grow the economy of Kano, grow the economy of Jigawa, and continue to grow the economy of Nigeria.
A visibly delighted Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, governor of Kano State, noted that while the state has hundreds of industries, rice mills have become the leading player in its industrial sector. He described the commissioning of the Gerawa Integrated Rice Processing Mill as another major step in the realization of the industrial goals of Kano State. Dr. Ganduje attributed the unique status of Kano State as host to an unusually large number of integrated rice mills, as well as small and medium enterprise-type rice mills, to the visionary decision of President Muhammadu Buhari to ban the importation of rice by Nigeria, and also thanked the President for the decision of the federal government to cite some major projects in the state, which he said will further accelerate economic development for both Kano State and Nigeria.
This giant project will no doubt provide employment opportunities, skills acquisition and revenue to the people and government respectively. These achievements recorded in this sector is no doubt a product of the policies and support provided by the administration of President Muhammad Buhari. We have not forgotten the banning of the importation of rice into the country, the criticisms and the political oppositions against the policy. But out of determination and consistency, the federal government under the able leadership of President Buhari resisted all pressures from both inside and outside the country. Nigerians are now reaping the benefits. Now agriculture is being considered as a serious investment opportunity in Nigeria. Farmers and millers are now making profit, and the employment opportunities are being created and revenue generated.
Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, governor of neighboring Jigawa State, the home state of the promoter of Gerawa Integrated Rice Processing Mill, also spoke at the event. Abubakar, who is also the chairman of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, observed that prior to the launch of the ABP, rice farmers had generally found it difficult to sell off the rice paddy. He noted that with the investments in integrated rice mills by industrialists like the proprietor of Gerawa Rice Mills Limited, the fortunes of the farmers had now changed for the better, as farmers in Jigawa and Kano State now have a much larger mill to buy off the rice paddy post-harvest. Expectedly, the chairman of the National Food Security Council, Governor of Kebbi State, Senator Atiku Bagudu, graced the occasion of the commissioning of the Gerawa Integrated Rice Processing Mill. Senator Bagudu, who is also the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, a body comprising governors of the states of the Federation that are under the political control of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, commended Gerawa for investing his resources in setting up the rice mill, rather than embarking on further expansion of his gigantic and thriving oil processing mill, also in Kano. Senator Bagudu added that by diversifying into agriculture, Gerawa had put his money where Nigeria needed it the most. While congratulating the proprietor for the milestone achievement, Senator Bagudu prayed that the rice milled by the company would make waves in the international market. In an address radiating with his amiable, warm and sometimes jocular disposition, the founder as well as the chairman and chief executive of the Gerawa Group of Companies and proprietor of Gerawa Rice Mill Limited, Isa Gerawa, described the day as a memorable one. He said it marked not only the commissioning of the 420 metric tons per day Gerawa Rice Mill, but also the flagging off of the construction of the 560 metric tons per day Phase 2 of the mill, which he said will be completed and commissioned before the end of the year. Gerawa noted that the policies of the Buhari administration in agriculture made the dream to establish Gerawa Rice Mill become a reality, adding that the mill was the product of his desire to complement the efforts of the administration in ensuring that Nigeria attained self-sufficiency in food production. Gerawa projected that the mill will provide jobs for about 20,000 youths in Kano State. The commemorative events were followed by a facility tour of the integrated rice mill, which was conducted by its proprietor, Isa Gerawa. Earlier, CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele had paid a courtesy call on Governor of Kano State, Dr. Ganduje, before he headed to the venue of the commissioning of the Gerawa Integrated Rice Mill. In his remarks, Emefiele said he was delighted to be in Kano, adding that he had visited the ancient city on a couple of occasions, either to commission or witness the launch of some of the intervention projects of the CBN, which were undertaken in line with the directive of President Buhari that the Nigerian economy be diversified and made less dependent on crude oil earnings. Emefiele commended Governor Ganduje for ensuring that Kano State did not only participate in the interventions of the CBN in agriculture, but also in the bank's interventions in the area of power generation. The host, Kano State Governor Dr. Ganduje, thanked the visiting governor of the CBN for the interventions of the Apex Bank in the state. He cited in particular the Apex Bank's interventions in power generation through the Tiga and Chalawa Dam projects, which had helped resolve some of the protracted problems that Kano State had contended with, owing to its status as a megacity, as well as the various interventions under the CBN Anchor Borrowers Program. The Kano State Governor sought further assistance from the CBN in tackling the challenges arising from his administration's resolve to mechanize agriculture in the state through the promotion of indigenous technology. This, he added, will help close an existing gap in the development of agriculture in the state caused by heavy dependence on imported farm machinery.
We appreciate the intervention you are providing to the farmers and then to the manufacturers, like the project that we are going to commission now, and also for giving us intervention on infrastructural development in Kano State. Major gap that is existing in agricultural protection is mechanization of agriculture. And I think that one we need to go back to the basic to encourage our fabricators of equipment, engineering, so that we adopt it, we make it our own. Because to continue importing machinery for mechanized agriculture is a big problem. We have seen the tractor issue. You buy thousands of tractors, you give it to the farmers in a very short time, you see what is happening. So there is need to look into that problem through the CBN.
What a pleasant irony that Nigeria, which once upon a time had to set up a presidential committee to manage the importation of rice through the issuance of import licenses, is now on the doorway to becoming self-sufficient in and is the largest producer of that same commodity in Africa today. And this is thanks to the holistic approach in the implementation of the Anchor Borrowers Program, which has ensured both the availability of rice paddies and the mills needed to process them into edible state. The setting up of gigantic, ultra-modern rice processing mill like Gerawa is a heartwarming development that will further guarantee the provision of a steady market for the hundreds of thousands of rice farmers operating in Kano State and adjoining states. It also offers these farmers yet an additional channel to redeem the loans they had obtained to cultivate their farms under the Anchor Borrowers Program, since the more the number of rice processing mills nearer to them, the greater the avenues for the farmers to redeem their loans. The commissioning of the Gerawa Rice Processing Mill also further strengthened the sustained drive to reduce the country's rice import bills, an overhead that has dropped sharply to $18.5 million annually by 2021 from the colossal annual sum of $1.05 billion prior to the launch of the Anchor Borrowers Program. And it is gratifying that 10 additional integrated rice processing mills are scheduled for commissioning in 2022, with greater potential to put broader smiles on the faces of rice farmers and consumers in the country through the availability of more bags of locally milled rice of high quality and at relatively cheaper prices. Thank you so much for spending your precious time watching today's edition of You and the Economy. We'll be back again next week. See you then. Goodbye.